All right, so it's Monday, man. Started off, took two L's. So started the week off, took two L's on this Monday. Let's go over the first L. We had a SMT, right? And because why? We had a big new week open, new day opening gap. We got none of these sell side has been taken, right? We're above midnight open, so I was kind of expecting to move to the downside. We had a bearish breaker, high, low, higher high, lower low, close below the 30% fair value gap. SMT, changing the state, everything, but the play literally swept out this liquidity and ran back up, stopped me out. So got a little, you know, back and forth here, rallies up, creates a. You see how it pulls right back to the first presented fair value gap. Look how it respects it perfectly. Lovely, right? Expands, taking out this high, create another SMT, and this is where I took my second loss, right? SMT right here with ESNQ. We got these three down close, these three bullish candles, sorry, with the close below, creating a change in the state. This place lower, another change in the state, so that's a propulsion. So I was expecting it to be speed down here by these lows. So when it came back up, stopped me out, but it's okay. Now that's when I realized, oh, okay, we're literally leaving it open in prices. We never return back to the midnight open. And what I did forget, if we do gap more than I think it's like 100 and something points, we usually is going to keep going, right? So look, this gap is 187 points, right? So it's usually going to keep going and then retrace back down at a later time in the week. So after my two losses, after this loss, that's when I realized, oh man, I forgot. And this is the macro. This is why another reason why I thought it was from the literally displaced lower because it was in that 1050 to 1110 macro, right? But then once I realized it wasn't going to go down, it was just respecting everything bullish, right? None of the SMT plays work. I kind of put my targets back to longs, and then look at this bullish breaker. We have a low, high, lower low, higher high right here. Look how it respects it perfectly. Look how it never comes down in the lower half. I speak about this all the time. You want to see the breakers, any bullish, any PDRA, right? That's really good. If you want to make sure you're on the right side of the order flow, you want to see it stay in the upper half of fair value gaps or inefficiencies. Look at all of the bodies. Look at all of the wicks are in the upper half. The lower half, it's literally unmitigated, leaving it as a breakaway gap, right? Rally up, created a mitigation block right here, right? We have a low, high, higher, low, higher, high. You take the last bullish candle, look how it respects it perfectly. Same thing. Look at the bodies, right? Majority of all the candles is where in the upper half, right? Look at it. Yes, you can allow it to come down, but remember, the bodies tell the story, but the wicks do the damage. That's why if you had your stop loss right here, probably would have got stopped out. Look at it. Rallied away. Look at it. Come back into it one more time. Sweeping out these lows right here. Tapping back into in key zone. Rally again. And it literally just rallied for the rest of the day. So, key things that I can get better with is basically understanding, okay, first thing, if we do a huge opening gap, opening range gap, or opening week gap, we're probably going to keep expanding. So don't really expect it don't anticipate it to go down. If it goes down, cool, but don't anticipate it, right? And then you see how price is leaving the midnight open here, 8:30 open here, and it's leaving it. It didn't even have the willingness to come down to the midnight open. That's bullish. Then understanding that it was a no news Monday also. It's no news. So when there's no news, you can't expect perfect, clean price action. So you see we had a little bit of a high resistance, right? It was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all the way to about 10 o'clock, right? Then and it gave all of the signs to go down, right? These are high probability plays, the SMTs, right? Which is the forever model. These are high probability plays, but and you see they all went down, right? They all literally went down. You see how it went down? It just didn't. What's the word? It just didn't. Well, it displaced lower, but it didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? It didn't basically continue, right? It didn't have a continuation, right? Like right, you see it went down, but it didn't continue. This one, you see how it went down, but it didn't continue. So, and but besides that, it was a great day. I didn't over leverage, so that's my trade recap of the day. Let's break this down one more time. At 9:30, we had, so this is from 9:30 to 12, my trading window. We got a little consolidation. We got a rally up. I took my first loss here of 24 points. Came up, tapped back into that first percentage fair value gap, right? Hitting the 8:30 open, never coming back to the midnight open, never retracing back to this opening range gap, right? So we're deep. And another reason why I was going to end along, because we was deep in a premium, right? We was literally deep in a premium. We literally didn't have no significant sell side delivery. So that's why I was going long too. But remember, if we are in a trending market, it's not going to do that. And that's why this play didn't work, because the macro usually gives a retracement and it hunts liquidity. But you see what it did? It just swept this liquidity, tapped into this inefficiency, and ran up, because it's a trending day. When it's a trending day, it's literally going to sweep out some lows and keep on going. That's why this breaker worked, right? Got this nice sweep here. Boom. You got a nice sweep into a PD array, which is this fair value gap. So you got the sweep into a higher time frame PD array. Look how it respects it perfect. Creates the breaker, low, higher, lower, low, higher, high. Holds it, respects again, create a mitigation, low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Look how it respects that last candle. Comes back into one more time, and it literally rallied. How much? From this play, from when I got stopped at, look at that, 121 points. If you go all the way to the high of the day, just from, let's say from the breaker, 150 points. So that's my play. That's my trade recap. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.